Section 3.2 is addition of whole numbers. We're going to look at a bunch of strategies to help kids understand how to add whole numbers in this section. Okay, so grade 1, students should be able to add and subtract within 20 and show fluency for addition and subtraction within 10. We're going to look at some of these strategies from the Common Core standards, such as counting on and making 10, decomposing a number leading to 10, and using the relationship between addition and subtraction by creating equivalent but easier or known sums. Okay, so let's start with counting on. Once your kids know how to count, they can use counting on. So for example, if I want to do 5 plus 3, what I do is I tell my 3-year-old, well, start with 5, and then let's count 3 more. So they get out their fingers and they count 5, then 6, 7, 8, that's 3 more, so 5 plus 3 is 8. The set model is another good model for your little kids. We are literally going to get out blocks or objects or counters. So suppose Jane has 4 blocks in one set and there are 3 blocks in another set. If I combine those into one set, how many do I have? Well, I just count, right? So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 plus 3 is 7. Notice that when we do this, our sets have to be disjoint. That means that they have no elements in common, right? Each of those blocks is unique in one set. The set model helps us to actually define what we mean by addition of whole numbers. So if I've got 2 disjoint finite sets and little a is the size of set A and little b is the size of set B, then I define the size of their union. I define addition a plus b to be the size of their union. The number line model, we're going to use arrows on the number line to help us count and add. So for example, let's suppose Josh has 4 feet of red ribbon and 3 feet of white ribbon. How many feet of ribbon does he have altogether? Or maybe Gail drank 4 ounces of orange juice in the morning and 3 ounces at lunchtime. If that's all she drank, how much total did she drink? So both of these problems can be modeled with the number line model. So your number line, of course, is this line at the bottom with the arrows going left and right, and you're going to mark off each whole number. And then we're just going to represent 4 starting at 0 and go to 4. So there's my first number, and now I want to add 3. So what I do is I start at 4 and go 3. So you can count, I've moved 1, 2, 3 here. So that's my 3. And so that lets us conclude that 4 plus 3 is what I get wherever I ended. So in this case, 4 plus 3 equals 7. Suppose you have a student who represents 3 on the number line on your screen. What's wrong with this representation? I'll give you a second to think about that. Okay, so hopefully what you noticed is that the length of this piece that they've drawn is actually only 2 units, right? This has length 2, not 3. So make sure that your students, when they're representing numbers, are starting at 0 and then going to that whole number. Okay, so this is how we would represent 3. In kindergarten, kids should be able to identify greater than or less than. So they should be able to compare 2 numbers either as sets or as just the numbers in front of them written down. So we're going to define A to be less than B if and only if there's a natural number K such that I can add K to A to equal B. Just notation here in this bottom box, when we write the little line under the caret symbol, we're talking about less than or equal to. And we can also talk about A greater than B. That means the same thing as B less than A.